6 days of pure magic, Human Design Rave Festival 2024.
Hello, hello. Nice
Hello.
to meet you in this virtual space.
Same.
Hi,
Mm.
Alannah, and hi, Hagen.
Hi,
Hi.
Veronica. Yeah, good to meet you and to be together again.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's such a nice possibility that technology gives us to meet up close and personal, although miles and kilometers away.
Mhm.
You're in Canada.
Mhm. Yeah.
And also a nice place to experience, although only via the neutrino, but we're all connected. And it's amazing that the human design community, which is so much alone travel, it's your life is a travel, your own journey, but with human design, it's you don't meet quite often fellow travelers, and the internet gives us such a good possibility to meet you. And I'm really looking forward to also meet you in person in Sofia, Bulgaria,
Mhm.
between the 17th and the 22nd of January 2024 for the Human Design Rave Festival. But until we meet in person physically in Aura, I would really love to present you to our audience, and so that they know uh, a little bit piece of what they're gonna experience with you, meeting you. So, would you like to introduce yourselves
Sure.
and tell us more about also maybe your personal journey in human design?
You bet. I'll go first. I'm Alannah Hillstrom, and thank you so much for having us here today, and also just inviting us to join the conference. We're really looking forward to it. Like you said, it's such a beautiful opportunity to meet other people that are in the experiment, because so many of us don't have that. Right? To have that connection and to be in person is such a gift and such a rare opportunity. So I'm really looking forward to it, and just the new experience of Sofia, Bulgaria. Wow, it sounds so fun and interesting to me. So I'm really looking forward to that. And so my experience with human design, I've been in the experiment for over 7 years now, and I'm a living your design guide. And I bumped into human design at it was one of those very serendipitous moments. I was in a training for something totally different, and the teacher said to me, have you ever heard of human design? And I said, no. He said, well, I had one reading and it changed my life. And I was like, okay, I'm going to check this out. So good 1-3 business, went online and did all sorts of digging and researching and ran all the charts. And here I am 7.5 years later, radically committed to the experiment. Really brought it deeply into my own life, my children. I have a splenic projector and an emotional manifester. So I had this really beautiful petri dish of three types in one little tribe, the three of us. And so I got to really check this system out in my own experience. And so yeah, I love human design, and I'm really excited to meet everyone else who's on the human design path with me. So that's a little bit about me for now. So I'll pass it over to you, Hagen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi everyone. It's really nice to share this moment together with you. My name's Hagen Artley. I've been in human design for about 5 years at this point. So it's been 5 years since a friend of mine sat me down in a square in Lisbon, Portugal, and told me about my design. And since then, I've applied it in many different places where I lived. I'm a bit of a traveler. I've been kind of traveling around the world since I was 16. Lived in a lot of different places. And I've had the fortune of being able to see what human design did in the first few years inside community settings also, where I could get the charts of many, many, many different people that I was living with and that I could have conversations with about all of this. Yeah, for long stretches of time, you know, so I had a lot of continuity with people, a lot of connection and ability to actually see on a day-to-day basis, how did this play out? How did this all work? And so I followed that, and it, you know, it had such an impact on my life that even coming out of my university studies right away, I went into a professional track with human design. I wanted to do this. And I was invited into it as well. It was kind of, yeah, how things continue to happen for me. And yeah, the starting point of that was about 5 years ago now for me. Since then, I've become a Living Your Design guide, BG5 business consultant, and I'm in PTL4, so analyst training, completing that. And that's all been very exciting. It's been a rich learning journey. It's been many things, as well as deep challenges, as I'm sure you know, and many people watching know. The world has gone through a lot of things in the meantime as well. There were the COVID lockdowns. There were many, and ongoingly so many different things happening, one shock after the other, really. So, you know, we're all living in this together, and it's one hell of a time to be trying out human design. So yeah, so super glad to be here and excited to see where the conversation takes us.
Actually, I'm very interested to know about your approach to human design, because you take it one step further, and it's actually, we got your contacts and you were recommended to us by Leela and Darman, especially because we explained them the concept of the festival is to really embody and ground in your strategy and authority beyond the theory. And we believe that you're bringing exactly this to this festival in Bulgaria with your offering. So yeah, could you elaborate more on that?
Mm.
Do you want to start, or would you like me to?
Yeah, I have a few thoughts already. Do you have a response, Alannah?
Yeah, well, or maybe actually you start, and then I can tell the story a little bit if you like.
Okay, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so in terms of our approach, that starts with the recognition of something. And that is that the gap between theory and practice can sometimes be quite wide, right? So the learning of human design and the translation of that learning into embodied practice, you know, that's something. And for some folks, you know, they get into it right away. And many folks struggle with that. Many folks struggle with that. And for many folks, that doesn't go very well either. So our perspective and kind of what we're thinking about, especially here for the Rave Fest, is to really think about the journey of becoming who we are, and the changes that brings. We are in the profession of human design. That means we care. We care about the lives of the people that we work with, and we care that what they receive from us, that makes a positive difference in their lives. You know, it becomes a life that is truthful, but you know, there's also a certain nourishment that's needed, a certain nurturance that's needed, because yeah, deconditioning is real. It's not just something on the surface. It's not any other. Yeah, it's not just a story. Life really changes, and there's real consequences to it, and we want to be connected to that in the lives of our clients. So we think about safety, we think about life enjoyment also in the deconditioning process. And we recognize that, for people who struggle with accessing their type strategy and authority, that it's not their fault. It's not anything they're necessarily doing wrong. It's not any lack of trying. It's not any lack of wanting to succeed in that, or it's not because they're not on the fractal necessarily. That's something I read on Facebook groups every now and then. That's not the approach that we take with clients. For us, the recognition is that in order for us to really get on board with the type strategy and authority, we really have to be here first. And getting here first, that's maybe the first journey for people. Being able to really fully arrive here, and then be able to connect to the environment, be able to connect to their bodies in a way that's safe. And that's not necessarily safe from the get-go for many people, given the conditioning or even given the environments where they spend a lot of time. So there's a lot to talk about that. We have a certain approach. It's called the three-phase model. It's something that came out of organic intelligence, and that's wise about the nature of deconditioning at the level of the biology. So really at the level of the nervous system, and how the brain comes on board with radical transformation, radical change. Recognizing that there are some initial conditions for that. It's a framework that is backed up by complexity science. It has been tested out in clinical therapeutic settings to really watch how organically a biology deconditions and grows and finds its way back home. That happens within the context of people that show up with PTSD, people that show up with very complex issues that we also see in the lives of our clients. It's like, the world is what it is these days. There is a lot of intensity going around. That intensity is a key piece for us to understand. And it's not necessarily on the map in human design as such. And so this three-phase model kind of helps us track that as something that's essential, understanding how ready someone is for intense change, and being able to relate to that and being able to nurture that, help that along. So I'm just gonna stop there, pause there. That's my first response. And Alannah, what about you?
Just a second.
Veronica, did you? Yeah, go ahead.
When you said arrive here, and it sounds so beautiful, do you mean to be in the now?
Yeah, well, to be present, right? To be in this moment. That's our starting point, right? Because it's where we actually are, right? Our minds can travel. We can do some time traveling into the past. We can be projecting into the future. But when we're doing any of these things, we're doing that now. That's happening now. We are processing these things in this moment. The future and the past, they borrow their reality from our present. In the end, we only have right now. And that's really where life is happening. And for some people that come in, it's kind of a challenge to stay there, right? We have conversations, and immediately we're talking about the present, the future, or we're talking about the past. And, the present moment seems sometimes so tricky to be exploring before there is again some kind of association to anything but here and now. So now I say that, but I also recognize that that's happening not just for us as personalities. It's not just happening for us as the way in which that we relate to each other in conversation and as we talk, and what we talk about. It's also happening at the level of biology. That is, the biology in the moment can be responding to the present moment in the here and now, like this environment, this place where I actually am, can be responding as if it's not actually fully here and now. My system can get jacked up, it can be having all kinds of responses to the environment as if I'm in some other time and place, as if I'm still in some kind of past conditioned setting, or some kind of past scene, something that happened to me. There are residuals. We know that trauma is a very live topic these days, and that's something that we also recognize and understand, that it's nobody's fault, and the way in which that the biology is behaving in the present, even if it's not behaving as if it's very present, it's also not our fault. And so we want to kind of recognize why that is and how that works. And Veronica, I saw you smiling, so I was wondering if you were recognizing something there.
This conversation will become more than one.
Yay.
And I think that it's like you touched on so many topics and subjects, and I love how you presented, and it's also, I love to leave it a little bit open so that people come and experience it. And Alannah, would you like to tell us how you came to that, and how did it come into your lives? How did you start using it also together with human design?
Yeah, for sure. Well, the one thing that I had a little bit of a response to what Hagen was sharing, and that is around being in the present and being in the now. I'm an emotional manifesting generator. And so, my authority is over time, right? And the waiting and the waiting and the waiting. My response, though, is always in the now, right? It's always connected to the now. And the wave is this awareness that moves, right? But if I'm not connected to the environment and I'm not here in the present, it's exactly what Hagen's talking about. I'm off somewhere else. My response is I'm actually not connected to where my energy wants to be in the moment, right? So it's a profound thing. It's a profound part of human design that I think is like so essential. And when the story of bringing organic intelligence into my experiment is that Hagen and I met in PTL training, professional analyst training, and I was about 5.5 years into my experiment, and he said to me, I've been doing this training in organic intelligence. Do you want to check this out with me? And I was like, great, okay, cool. So he started doing sessions with me and walking me through the process and the practice of it. And the thing that I didn't realize after 5.5 years of being in the experiment was that I'd figured out the waiting part. I'd figured out the responding part, like, okay, waiting for light to come towards me and the responding. But the piece that I was really getting caught on that I didn't realize was my over amplification of the wave. I have the 4130, so it goes high and low, right? And the amplification is in the body, it's in the mind, right? And all the stuff that happens with the wave. And the incredible thing about working with the tools of OI and organic intelligence is it helped me to start to differentiate what is actually happening in my experience. And it helped me to really then tune into when the wave is moving and what is my amplification on top of the wave. Like Hagen likes to tease me about in the beginning. It's like, well, I'm riding the wave. And it's like the wave is like, right? But now it's like the wave comes through my system and I recognize what's happening and I can be with it in a state almost of like, I don't want to say neutrality, but a state of awareness that can actually watch the wave as it's moving through me and not get grabbed on with all the hooks that happen. And so in terms of my own deconditioning process, it was incredible for me. Then it also helped my bandwidth expand and my capacity, which is then what has allowed Hagen and I to actually be in relationship with each other, a 1-3 emotional manifesting generator, a 2-5 splenic projector in human design. That's, wait a minute, how did those work? That's something that we've really been able to integrate the tools of OI on a daily basis, not only type strategy and authority, but also OI in our own practical life. And so that's something that we have a lot of experience in, that we'll also be sharing and talking about, like our real life experience when we're in Bulgaria. And the third piece about our story is our clients. Like, we work with people who have been in human design for 10 years, who are really struggling with finding their type strategy and authority. They're like, I've been trying, I've been working on this. I just don't get it. I'm not accessing it. And then we also work with people who are brand new to human design. But we bring in this model of OI that creates this space, this recognition that everyone is moving on the path towards, more joy, finding ease in their lives, a place of trust, being able to, really deeply trust ourselves and the decisions that we make. And to bring that alongside of human design, introducing someone to their design at the same time, in this nurturing, safe space where all the intensities that come up as you start to discover your true nature, because I don't know about you, Veronica, but in the beginning, it's like, it's tricky, right? It's tricky trying to decondition and find those places. And so we create just a space of, it's okay. We're going to walk on this together in an attuned fashion. You mentioned that when we first started talking about how so much of human design, you're walking by yourself, right? And that was definitely my journey. And classes were my lifeline, right? Like other people that are following it, but I didn't have anyone in my everyday life that was really like, what's this waiting to respond thing, right? Like, I don't understand that. And so to have a relationship with someone who can help you through that deconditioning process in an attuned fashion, that's a place that we have found to be so profound in terms of seeing people who are about maybe a year or two. Like, we have a client that's about 2.5 years into her process, and I wish that I had the support at the same trajectory. And it's incredible to see her actually really living her design because of these tools together. So yeah, it's a bit of our story.
I love you guys. Like, you debunked a myth with your first sentence about the wave and the responding. You can explain stuff simply only when you're really in the depth of it. So and also Hagen, how he explained it, it's wow. It's like, too bad we don't have 1,000 seats,
I don't know if I'm ready for that.
We're only limited to 250 guys, so you don't have much time. I love to be able to present you, because what we're actually doing with Julia is we're giving this platform so that you can reach more people who really need this at these times, because human design was given for what is happening now. And what you said about the safe space and the nurturing, it's really something, because Ra gave the system as a shocker, it's a totally different approach. So I love your individual approach. It's I also wish I had somebody at the beginning to be gentle, because it's okay. It's really okay. And that's what human design is about. It's really okay.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. Well, do you have something to add, or maybe some final words, greetings, whatever comes.
I'm gonna pass the mic over to you, Hagen. Do you have anything else you'd like to share?
Yeah, I look forward to connecting. I look forward to connecting with whoever's on the other side here watching. I look forward to seeing you live if you can make it. And otherwise, we'll connect through the virtual landscape somehow. I don't know how that's going to work, but I'm sure we'll make that work. And yeah, and beyond, right? Like all of this is meant to be experienced and from a connected place. So that's kind of the direction we're going. And that's our hope. So yeah, I just look forward to exploring it all in our session there in Bulgaria. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to all the other people who are going to be presenting too. You have a really beautiful
yeah,
folks.
totally.
Like I'm really looking forward to meeting them, and some of them I've actually already met, which is very exciting in at immersions with Marianne over the years. So there's a few familiar faces, lots of familiar faces, but a couple that I've met in person. So I'm really looking forward to hearing what everyone else has to share and learning from one another. Yeah, it'll be really great. Thank you so much for putting your energy into this and pulling us all together. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, so see you soon in Sofia, Bulgaria. Be there. Do you want to come?
Get your tickets today. See you soon.